Hey there, second episode of the best animation mods is here. Finding these types of mods is like searching for a needle in a haystack. But you know me, I got no life, so I managed to squeeze out 20 more. Also, at the very end of the video, I will include a brief gameplay including a bunch of these mods. Let's check them out now. A Good Place is a mod I came across a few months ago. It introduced a concept that is rare, if not exclusively done by the author. Whenever you place a block, a realistic animation will follow, almost as if the block falls into place. I found the mod to be deeply satisfying, and I guess if you have watched the Mojang trailers, you will see a similar visual. The mod is immersive, and as you install it on your SMP or personal mod pack, you will realize that you start to enjoy the game a little more. Although the difference is slight, it touches on something we do every day, all day, which is placing blocks. The mod is also compatible with other content mods, most notably mods with decorative blocks. You can now decorate your interiors satisfyingly. A Good Place is certainly a cutting-edge mod when it comes to animation. Making that much difference with a change as little as this requires some otherworldly creativity. Animation Overhaul is not your typical player animator mod, it is something special. For starters, the mod adds a new animation that activates as you stand on an edge. It is very funny and oh god, I'm going to die. A similar animation is activated as you walk on a fence or an iron bar. It looks as if the player is trying to maintain balance, creating an Assassin's Creed kind of vibe. Another feature that I've never seen in any other animation mod or resource pack is the combat animation, which includes punching with bare hands and slashing with a sword or an axe. The basic movement seems to be very simple and not very fluid. In my opinion, some extra movements on the limbs could really level up the overall aesthetics of the mod. But that's up to developers to do. Start to finish, this mod is one of the most active projects in this category. Not that there are many active projects of its kind, but this one over-delivered, and I love that. Smooth scrolling eases out the movement of any type of scrolling in the game, most prominently this tiny cursor on the hotbar. Similar to the mod mentioned at the beginning of this video, smooth scrolling will increase the gratification associated with playing the game, leading to more enjoyment and longer playthroughs. Wings mod was included on the list due to the phenomenal animation of the wings. I know I shouldn't go off course here, but bear with me for a second. As you fly with the wings, not only is there a departure animation, but also a dynamic animation that changes based on your altitude and movement. When you glide down, the wings stops flapping and kinda just react to the wind. And when you fly upward, they smoothly move again. Apart from the visuals, the wings offer a superior flying experience, unlike some wings mod that simply enable creative mode as you start flying. Obsecure Tooltips is a mod specialized in reimagining the GUI in the game. Each item, block and tool has a unique animation associated with it. Based on the rarity and the value of the item, there will be different animations and unique effects. Sometimes the effects can even relate to the item itself. For tools and armors, the mod displays different animations, showing off tools horizontally and wearables on an armor stand, which can be quite beneficial. This mod is compatible with other mods and is both informational and entertaining to use. Detailed Animations Reworked is inspired by the famous Action as Self add-on, offering similar functionality but focusing solely on player animations. This resource pack introduces new animations as well. Flying in creative mode, for example, mimics the sense of superheroes or villains in movies. There's also another animation that activates when you sneak, causing the player to move their hips side to side, almost like a dance. Additionally, there is a terrific falling animation, where your body briefly squashes upon hitting the ground before returning to normal. Detailed Animations Reworked shows a lot of promise. It's unique, and as you may have noticed, it has a built-in eye movements, so give it a try. Sit and Chill is a mod with a great collection of sitting animations. It includes an animation named Sit, where the player sits in the most basic way. Another animation, Relaxed, is one I love as it portrays calmness. The player sits and holds their knee, perfect for serene scenes. The Curl is a unique animation, ideal for conveying feelings of insecurity or solitude. The animation Knees isn't used often, but is perfect for scenes involving player or admiring a beautiful view. The animation side is similar to the relaxed animation as it radiates calmness, but I found it to be handy as you are trying to show off a royal figure sitting, like this one. Finally, the animation cross hints at excitement, with the player crossing their legs and looking up in awe, perhaps contemplating nature or the moon. Chunk Animator adds a smooth loading animation where the land emerges from the void and locks into place. I don't know if this animation improves the performance by any measure, but I feel that it does so on a psychological level. Now hear me out, it reduces the annoyance of waiting for the chunks to load by adding cool animations to the loading itself, which makes the whole experience much more pleasant. However, the mod is currently incompatible with Nvidia and only works with Objify, which might be a deal breaker for some people. A gun mod isn't something you would expect to see in a fresh animations video, but I couldn't help but include Timeless and Classic 0 due to a recent update adding player animations for when you hold a gun. The mod was already great animation-wise, with impressive inspections and increased details while reloading or shooting. But the player animations were a positive step forward. They weren't anything like epic fights or fresh moves, but they helped eliminate the rigidity of the vanilla animations. This mod has been surprising me ever since it was released a few months back, so I'm excited to see how far it will go. Animated doors improves the animation of opening a door. Instead of instantly snapping back and forth, the door will slowly move as you open it. Here we have another mod that can help you get into a flow state while playing the game, and it happens to be applied to something we use every day. Doors. The mod covers every door in the game, but doesn't include trapdoors unfortunately. To have an animated trapdoor, physics mod would be your only option. It might even be slightly better, as it interacts with players. You can literally block the door with your body if you want to. The choice between the two is yours. Physics mod is more of a strain on your gear, but offers more features, while animated doors is essentially just a set of resource packs and commands. A simplistic option indeed. First off, install version 0.5.5, not 0.6.1. The latter is currently broken. This mod doesn't add any animations on its own, but helps us observe the animations of most, if not all the mods I'll mention in this video on a first-person view. I've used it with examples like fresh moves, where the camera shakes in sync with animations. The same goes for the vanilla models pack. I also tried it with fast move, and while it felt nauseating, it was incredibly immersive. I originally saw this combination in Asian House Squad's video, and it's a must try. Another mod that pairs well with the real camera is Timeless and Classic 0, which we've mentioned earlier. The animations of the guns are already great, but the real camera takes them to an absurd level. Add fast move and you've got yourself a fully functioning Call of Duty experience in Minecraft. The real camera excels at accurately portraying modded movements, and I hope that mods like First Person Model adopts the same functionality. Essential is perhaps the biggest social mod of all time. The animations here aren't tied to any type of movement in particular, they are simply emotes. While many cool looking dances are locked behind a paywall, the ones I'm showcasing now are completely free, so purchases are not necessary. The Essential mod is already great on its own, allowing players to join each other's walls without needing server hosting. Also, don't hate on the mod developers for selling skins and emotes. At the end of the day, they are not forcing anyone to buy anything. EST models overhauls the animations in the game to be more realistic. The animations here are a bit similar to the Epic Fight mod if you know that one. This mod offers pre-packaged models you could choose from. Most of them are anime-like. There are also tons of additional models you can apply. These are unbelievably detailed along with referencing popular shows and video games. This mod also offers emotes. And don't worry, this time around all of the emotes are free to use. Also, using different models may result in special emotes, so try and be more explorative here. This mod is certainly now vanilla friendly, but the intensity of the models and the emotes that come with them is quite remarkable. Immersive UI is also a mod concerned with the efficient animations of the GUI, only this one is less informative, but you will have more fun playing it. Items, once picked up, will have a jiggling animation, and if the item is very vital or rare, it will leave a sparkling effect as it's being dragged around. Between this mod and Obsecure tooltips, you will have to choose one since you won't be able to use them simultaneously. Me personally, being a seasoned player and all, I would go with the Immersive UI. For beginners, however, Obsecure tooltips will be more useful. Gist Expressions adds eye movements to your skin. It was originally derived from the Fresh Moves pack, but this is a separate pack featuring only the eye movements. Gist Expressions was a much needed pack. Now players can add eye movements to their skin and include an animation mod with their choosing. Not all mods are compatible with it as of now. The eye animations created a lot of excitement among modders, and everyone wanted their skin to have emotions instead of being stone cold. The authors of this pack provided this possibility. Freshly Modded is a resource pack that extends fresh animations to a multitude of popular mods. While most of the animations are directly replicated from the Fresh Animations pack, some are distinct. The Guard Villager, for instance, has a special eye movements and a fighting technique that, I believe, wasn't taken from the Fresh Animations pack. Freshly Modded is simply necessary if you happen to have any of the supported mods installed. Improved animations always increase the flow of your gameplay, along with making the game feel quite sophisticated. Everything Animated is a small text pack on the list that animates some of the items in the game. Although the quantity of the animated items is tiny, the intensity of these animations is superior to anything I've seen before. This could explain the small amount of animated items, so let's be patient with the author. It seems excruciating to make animations as good as these. Particular ports the effective mod to Fabric, while also improving and adding new features. The features included the famous splash effect, applicable to entities and items alike, as well as fireflies that appears during the night. Additionally, there are the new features that I talked about earlier, one of which is the fallen leaves effect. Particular is an all-in-one mod when it comes to animating nature, making it an indispensable part of our mod pack. Customizable player models by itself doesn't add anything in particular, but it's a tool that allows users to create a set of animations and models. The reason I included it here is that I have a downloadable preset for you guys, which is Leo's animation pack. Usable presets of this mod are rare to find, and often due to the difficulty of animating stuff in this mod. Only dedicated users with experience are able to create models as good as this one. I've gone through Reddit and found some that look unbelievably good, but are locked behind a paywall. I found this mod to be an important part of this mod pack. First, the Leo's animations look lovely, and second, it doesn't mess up the setting animations, nor is it incompatible with any of the player animations mod we mentioned, except for a few. Thankfully, those didn't include the eye movements pack, so I was able to integrate it regardless. Blinking in their eyes is a small mod to finish up this video. It simply makes the eye vendor blink. This is rather creepy, but in our quest to enhance the animation aspect of Minecraft, the inclusion of this mod was harmless, if not helpful. I hope that this video was helpful. If so, like and subscribe to keep up with this series. The first episode released a while back, so here you go in case you haven't watched it yet. Now I'll leave you the gameplay using most of the mods we just mentioned. Enjoy!